Hi folks, today we're going to be working on adding, subtracting, multiplying polynomials. Now you're going to hear the directions stated in many different ways. You're going to add or subtract, find the sum or difference, combine like terms. The bottom line though is to make sure your answers are in standard form. So biggest exponent to smallest exponent all the way down to the constant. Alright, so the first couple that we're going to focus on are just add, subtract. Okay, we always need to make sure of the signs. So in this first one, we're just adding. Now what I like to do is I like to look for that biggest exponent first. So taking a look around, I have some x cubed. So what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to combine those like terms. So 2x cubed plus 1x cubed. So that's going to be 3x cubed. And then I go down to the x squared term. I have a negative 5x squared plus 6x squared. So negative 5 plus 6 would be a plus 1x squared. And then I go down to the next one, to the x term. I have a 3x plus, and this has no x term in it, so I just keep it as plus 3x. And then finally, I go down to the constants, and I have negative 9 plus 11. So negative 9 plus 11 would be a positive 2, and that's it. Alright, it is in standard form, biggest exponent to smallest, combine the like terms. Alright, moving on to the next one, we need to make sure that we notice the sign. In this case, the sign is a minus. So everything in the first set gets subtracted, subtracts everything in the second set. So again, I'm going to look for that biggest exponent, and in this case, it is third power. There are no other third powers though. So I have 3x to the third minus nothing, which is just 3x to the third. And then I move down to the next exponent, which is second power. I have a negative 2x to the second minus a negative 4x to the second. So minus a negative, we know is plus. So that's going to be a plus 2x to the second, or 2x squared. Then we move down to the next, which is x to the first. And we have a negative 7x minus 2x. So negative 7 minus 2 more will be minus 9x. And then finally, we move down to the constant. In this first set of parentheses, there are no constants, so all we do is minus that negative 5. So minus a negative would be plus. So there it is. So our answer in this, 3x cubed plus 2x squared minus 9x plus 5. Just combine the like terms. Here, we're going to be finding the product, or multiplying. This isn't anything new to you. You've done this before. So this first one should look somewhat familiar. We have 3x minus 4 quantity squared. So what that really means to us is 3x minus 4 times 3x minus 4. So this is something that we can FOIL out. Okay, remember FOIL means first, outside, inside, last. Alright, it is a method. So first times first, 3x times 3x would be 9x squared. And then we move to the outsides, 3x times negative 4 would be minus 12x. And then we move to the insides, negative 4 times 3x would be minus 12x. And then last times last, negative 4 times negative 4 would be plus 16. So now we want to go ahead and combine like terms if it's at all possible, which it is here. So we have 9x squared. Combining those two middle terms would give us minus 24x plus 16. And there we've found the product. We FOILed. That's it. Now on this next one, what we need to notice is the first set of parentheses is a binomial, it has two terms. The next set of parentheses is a trinomial, it has three terms. So what we want to do is kind of a bigger version of FOIL, but still the concept is the same. Make sure everything in the first set of parentheses gets multiplied to everything in the second set of parentheses. So starting out, we're just going to go first times first. So y times negative 2y squared would give us negative 2y to the third. And then first times middle. Y times 3y would be plus 3y to the second. And then first times last, or outsides, would be minus 6y. And then we can move to that negative 2. Make sure that gets multiplied to everything. So negative 2 times negative 2y squared would be plus 4y squared. Negative 2 times 3y would be minus 6y. And then negative 2 times negative 6 would be plus 12. At this point, now we want to take a look around, combine our like terms, start at the biggest exponent, work down to the smallest. We want to make sure that we are in standard form. All right, so just taking a look, we have a minus 2y cubed, and there are no other y cubed. So I have negative 2y to the third. And then I move down to the seconds. 3y to the second plus 4y to the second will be plus 7y to the second. Move down to the first powers. Negative 6y minus another 6y would be minus 12y. And then lastly, we have this plus 12. No other constants to go with it. So there is the final. In this next one, please notice that we have 3 sets of binomials. 4x minus 2, 3x plus 6, and then negative 5x squared minus 1. So what we're going to start out with is we're just going to go ahead and FOIL any of the two. And I'm just going to pick this first two. I'm going to ignore this third one. I'm going to bring it down later. So starting out, FOILing the first two, we have first times first, 4x times 3x would be 12x squared. Outsides, 4x times 6 would be plus 24x. Insides, negative 2 times 3x will be minus 6x. And last times last will be minus 12. I still have that negative 5x squared minus 1. Now, inside this FOIL, I can combine some like terms. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It'll make the work a little easier later on. So 12x squared plus 18x minus 12 times negative 5x squared minus 1. Now, it's just like the previous one we got done doing, where we make sure that everything in the first set of parentheses gets multiplied to everything in the second set of parentheses. It's a big FOIL. So we got 12x squared times negative 5x squared. So negative 60x to the fourth. We add those exponents. And then 12x squared times negative 1. So minus 12x squared. And then I move on to that middle term, 18x times negative 5x squared. So that will be minus 90x to the third. And 18x times negative 1 will be minus 18x. And then we do that last term, that negative 12. So negative 12 times negative 5x squared would be plus 60x squared. And the negative 12 times negative 1 would be plus 12. And now to finish this thing off, we want to make sure that we combine our like terms. We need to still have standard form, biggest exponent to smallest. So we have x to the fourth, and that's the only x to the fourth term, so we can go ahead and bring that down. And then we move down to the x to the third term. We only have one of those, so minus 90x to the third. Then we move to the x squared terms. We have a couple of those. We can put those together. So negative 12x squared plus 60x squared will be plus 48x squared. And then we have the single x term, so minus 18x. And we have the constant, plus 12. And that's it. It's simplified as far as I can get. You'll notice the other one, 3x plus 5 quantity cubed. So essentially what that means to us is we have 3x plus 5, 3x plus 5, and 3x plus 5. So, and then we would just go ahead and do it like the previous one. Foil the first two, figure that one out, and then bring in the third. So you can go ahead and practice this stuff, combining your like terms, getting things into standard form. Make sure you watch for your signs, whether it's plus or minus or multiply. So page 349, numbers 3 through 45 odd. We'll see you in class.